Okay, personal finance students, today we're going to focus on cover letter writing. And as you know, our learning intention for the last week or so in here has been students will prepare professional documents for interviews and employment options. And how we're fulfilling that today is we are going to discuss the 4 parts of a cover letter and making sure that all of you students are able to identify the different parts of a cover letter through the 4 paragraph method. So what we're going to do is if you go into Schoology, you're going to select your class, Personal Finance, and then you're going to find the Chapter 5 folder, which is what we've been in, Life After High School. And when you select that, you're going to find the Professional Documents and Interview Prep folder, which is pink under there. So when you select that, you're going to see that I've put all of our resume handouts into a resume folder. And what you can see left listed here are the cover letter handouts that we're going to work with. And so today we're going to use the cover letter 4 paragraphs handout. And then we're going to use the cover letter worksheet, which is actually my personal cover letter and how you're going to turn in your assignment at the end of this, showing me that you understood what we discussed today. So if I open up the cover letters 4 paragraph handout, I'm going to get a handout that looks like this. And what you can see here is, first paragraph, what it stands for, second paragraph, what it stands for, third paragraph, what it stands for, and the fourth paragraph, what it stands for. And what you'll notice is that each of those paragraphs has its own signature color. So the first one is yellow, second one is blue, third one is green, and fourth one is pink, because these colors are going to be what we use to identify the different aspects of each paragraph when we look at my personal paragraph and dissect it a little bit. So as we go through my personal cover letter, we're going to read each paragraph, discuss the elements of it, and then after we get done, you're going to go back and you're going to highlight 2 aspects from each paragraph that contain the purpose of the paragraph. So that's kind of where we're going and where we are kind of summed up in a nutshell. So for this first paragraph of a cover letter, the first piece is supposed to be a paragraph that grabs the reader's attention and announces your qualifications right away. So you don't want to waste any time. You want to get straight to the point, and that's going to be the main focus. But not only that, is you're going to try to grab your reader's attention. And this piece is important because it's not about grabbing the attention of your mass audience, like everybody in the room or anything like that. You're actually just working on putting in information that is going to stand out to the specific reader that you're writing to. And in a cover letter situation, that's going to be whoever's doing the hiring. So in my cover letter, as you can see here, it's actually going to be written to a school superintendent, okay, because I'm looking for a secondary administrative position. So it's because that's the position I'm looking for. Everything in that first paragraph is going to state my qualifications related to that, and then also the fact that it's going to be intention grabbing to that person. So in this particular case, if I was writing it to Prairie View High School, which is kind of the way I set it up, it would be going to Dr. Bollinger, our superintendent, who would then be my audience. So everything I write in here is going to be aimed at grabbing his attention. So we look at paragraph 1. It says, I am contacting you regarding a secondary administrative position. Right out of the gate, we know exactly the purpose of my letter. And then it continues, I am a confident young professional with teaching and leadership experience that makes me a great candidate for this position. Because I have had previous involvement in classrooms in your district, I know that my personality, passions, and talents will be well suited for the continuation of growth and improvement within this school district, which prides itself on enabling students and educating them in order to empower them for their future. The educational values that I've observed match that of my own beliefs. So instantly, we know exactly why I'm writing, and then we're starting to see the qualifications come out. I'm confident, I've got teaching and leadership experience. What are some other things? My personalities and my passions and talents are well suited because I've been here and I know that. Continuation of growth and improvement are key goals of mine. And then something you might not have noticed is that in this line right here, which prides itself on enabling and educating students, or students and educating them in order to empower them for the future. Prairie View's actual mission statement as a district is enabling and educating and empowering those that we serve, referring to students. And I think this is important to point out because this shows, number one, that I did my research. I know the mission statement of the school. Now, granted, I've worked here for a long time, so I should know the mission statement of the school. But if I were to apply at a different school district, or if I were to look at a different job, I would find this piece of information and somehow include it with my qualifications. So they are naturally making the connection that, hey, here's where we're going. This is the mission of our business or our company or our school, and her natural abilities align with it. Plus, it shows that I did a little bit of homework and I learned that about the company. So both of those aspects are good in this first paragraph because I'm establishing myself to the reader, and that's extremely important. So that's kind of the pieces that we talked about in that first paragraph and what that first paragraph needs to contain. The second paragraph is focused on why this job and this company. Here's where you're going to tailor your letter to determine that you, or to demonstrate that you know why you want this particular position. Most job applicants actually skip this part entirely, but that's not a wise thing to do. You need to explain why you want to work here and why you want to do that specific job. So if I look at my cover letter, I want you, as I'm reading, to try to identify why here and why this job. And I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of disguise it a little bit in my writing to make it sound a little bit more fluid and a little bit more professional, but it's there. So why this job and why this school? So through years of working with students, teaching colleagues, and alongside those in administrative positions in various capacities, I have developed skills that will assist me in being a successful administrator and demonstrate that my life is dedicated to the development of the hearts and minds of the students and teachers that I serve. I have an innate sense and a desire for growth personally, but more importantly, spurring others on in that same direction. I truly believe that for any institution to be successful, a mindset dedicated toward growth is essential. I also believe that it can be demonstrated and learned through example, and that it starts from the top down. So anything that I make reference to of an administrative position in this paragraph is proving why I want that administrative position. And then any focus that I make to the school and its goals is showing that that's why I want to be here. So if we look at this first paragraph, I've already had experiences in this school district with students, with teaching colleagues, and other administrative positions. So that right there is focused on this school. And then I focus on the things that make me, desiring this administrative position. I already am dedicated to the development of the hearts and minds of students and teachers. I already have a desire for growth personally, which I can use, in a more professional and administrative sense, or in a leadership position. I'm already have a mindset that's, dedicated towards growth. And then I put this last line here. A lot of these principles can be demonstrated and learned through example, and then it starts from the top down. So I'm saying, hey, it's a leader's job to demonstrate this for their building. I can be that leader. I can demonstrate from the top down. I can be an example. And so I'm kind of connecting myself as if I already have the job to the job. And that's how I am emphasizing that this job and in this school, this position is for me. And that's what you're supposed to do in that second paragraph. So if we look at the third paragraph, this paragraph, they say it's supposed to be the longest. Basically, here's where you say why you make a good candidate or what makes you a good candidate. This is the meat of your letter here. You want to show them, not tell them. So anything you can do to demonstrate why you make a good leader is crucial here. So let's look at my third paragraph. As I have mentioned, I've had the privilege of working at Prairie View High School over the past 8 years in various levels and positions. So right there, I'm setting the tone and saying, hey, I've already done this in this building, so I know what to expect from me. Next, I have spent my entire post-college career within this district because I genuinely love this district. I am confident that I am qualified for this administrative position, and I am excited by the opportunity to add value to an already terrific school system. So not only do I feel qualified, but I understand where the building's at, and I know how to bring value to it and make it better. Then this is like kind of the crucial point right here. Do not let my lack of professional administrative experience be a hesitating factor in choosing me as your next building administrator. What I lack in experience, I make up for in hard work, dedication, and the ability to quickly adapt to new surroundings and challenges. I've never done this position before, but I know that because of the skills and the things that I have from other positions that I can apply them to this position and be successful. A lot of you high school students don't have experience or don't have very much experience, or especially don't have experience in the area that you're wanting to go into. the key here is that you can pick apart yourself and figure out which skills that you have that are transferable from one job to the next, or from one activity or athletic involvement or whatever it is that you're participating in, and apply it to a working environment. And if you can do that, then they're not going to be as worried about the experience factor because they know that you have the skills to back it up. So that those last two sentences of that paragraph were key to this paragraph. And then you have your last paragraph, paragraph 4. This is the salutations and the details piece. So in this final section, you're going to summarize your qualifications, and you need to make sure that you reference any other materials that you include. So there's basically two big things you need to make sure that are in this paragraph. And if we go back to mine, we'll assess it. Number 1, you need to make sure that you request an interview. That's key. If you don't request an interview, you're not closing the sale. You're not driving the point home. You've basically given this great presentation, and now you just let it got squelched because you didn't finish it well. You have to ask for the interview. And secondly, if you have any other documents like a resume attached, you need to make mention of that. And so just in this situation, you're going to have a resume attached because I'm going to require you to. So make sure you make mention of that. So here's my last paragraph. I will plan to contact your office next week to explore times when we could meet. Should you wish to contact me sooner, please do so at your earliest convenience so that I may share with you more about my background and enthusiasm for this position. My contact information is listed with my attached resume. Thank you for your time and your consideration. I look forward to talking with you. So I didn't specifically come out and say, may I please have an interview, but I made it clear that, hey, I'm going to call and talk to you about meeting together. If you want to call me sooner, you can, and here's how you do so by looking at my resume and getting my contact information. So I kind of enveloped those two big aspects inside of that paragraph. And then I ended it by thanking them for their time and their consideration and saying that I look forward to their response. So I've called them to action. I've said, hey, here's my work, now I'm putting it in your hands. And that's an important piece in that last paragraph. And then you can see I ended it with a sincerely and then my name down here, but there's space in between. That's for your signature, and you need to put a signature there in blue or black ink. And so after I got done with this, I would print it out, and I would sign that, and then I would send it on to the school that I intended it to go to. A cover letter has to be specific for each job that you're applying for, or each location or industry that you're applying for. So no matter what, from job to job or interview to interview, you're going to have to enhance or make your cover letter a little bit unique to that specific interview or job. So keep that in mind. But anyways, these are the pieces. So what I want you to do for your homework assignment is you're going to look at my letter, and you're going to look at this little 4 paragraphs sheet that kind of explains what needs to be in each paragraph. And what you're going to do is, based on the paragraph, so the yellow paragraph, first paragraph, you're going to go to my letter, and you're going to highlight 2 instances in the letter where you saw the first paragraph purpose take place. So, where I grab the reader's attention and I share my qualifications, you're going to look to the first paragraph and highlight 2 instances in yellow that relate to that. Then you're going to go to the second paragraph, and in blue, you're going to highlight areas of this where I demonstrated that I know why I want this particular position or this particular job. And so we're going to go back to my letter, highlight in blue, and then green, and then pink for the last paragraph, using the purpose of each paragraph to highlight 2 instances where you see that in my paragraph. And then turn that in on Schoology to show that you were paying attention throughout this process. Tomorrow, we're going to focus on writing out your paragraphs individually, just making sure we're meeting those purposes. And then on Thursday or Wednesday, the goal will just be to start putting those into a template. So that's where we're going. You can see where we're at. If you have any questions, please come visit with Mrs. Richardson.